Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave wonderful comments under this video. Let's do this. So this is her fresh face. This is my model. I'm just going to start by using my toner to cleanse the face, and I just put a little bit of it on my cotton wool, and I'm just going to cleanse the face with it. Next up is my Norban Beauty setting spray. Of course, the face needs to be as hydrated as possible, guys. Next is my moisturizer, which is from Brega and Omaricode. I'm just going to press this into the skin. Also going to make sure I moisturize the under eye perfectly. Next up is my Rimmel Stay Matte Face Primer, which I'm going to use to prime the T-zones, and then before I just spread it to the whole face. And that's my basic absolute lip gloss, guys, which I'm using to moisturize her lips. It's just 100 naira. 100 naira. Yeah. This is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation in N9. Yes, I'm using drugstore products to create this look. Now, to get her undertone, I'm just putting a little bit of the foundation on one side of her face. You guys can see the wonderful orange undertone popping from this foundation. And that's what I love to use, especially when I'm working on dark skins or chocolate skins, because it helps me to match and even out their skin tones perfectly, guys. So I'm just using my Norban Beauty blender to pat this and blend. Yeah, and that's done. I'm also going to go down to the neck area just a little bit, though not too much. I don't like putting foundation on the neck at all, but then she had a really dark neck, so I just tried to, like, this is never something I usually do, but little effort. So I decided to just do that. Then of course she has smile lines, which I'm just taking care of by telling her to pout. Now I'm going in with two LA Girl Pro Concealer shades. One is Cool Tan, which I'm applying directly to her under eye. Then yeah, I'm doing this because I want the under eye to be really light. Then the other is Fawn, which I'm applying beneath the Cool Tan. Of course, I'm using the same font to do her chin, to do her forehead and her nose. You can see the small amount of this concealer I'm using. I'm not a fan of using too much. I don't really believe in like using a lot. For her Cupid's bow, I'll cross a line, make a line across and then make two lines. Next up is to pat and blend, and I'm using the pointed area of my beauty blender for that, to blend the edges first before I go in with the normal blending. Now after blending sort of, I'm going to sorry, I'm going to keep blending. I'm sorry, I'm still blending. Then I'm going to use the bottom of my beauty blender just to blend the ends, to make sure there are no harsh lines separating the foundation from the concealer. Next up is my L'Oreal True Match Foundation in C10, which I'm going to use to contour. So from her cheekbones, I actually blend the contour upwards and connect it to her forehead. I'm going to show you guys the flawless finish this is going to give me. My best drugstore foundation is actually L'Oreal, guys. Those who have registered for my WhatsApp classes already know. Like, I don't even play with my L'Oreal. I don't play with it. So you guys can see I've just done one side. It's so flawless. It's so, oh my gosh, Jesus, look at that contour. What? Next, I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I had to just come this way so you guys will see what I'm doing perfectly. I'm also making sure there are no harsh lines whatsoever. I also contour the two sides of the chin. That's something I like to do. That's what gives me that really sculpted look, you know. Next up is the nose. This one, I don't joke with it. I always tell people on my WhatsApp classes, snatch that nose. What's wrong with you? Snatch it. What's your problem? So I come from underneath the eyebrows and I just like curve in. I make a curve in. That's what I do. Basically, it's not a big deal. I'm using an angled brush for this. Maybe one of these days I'll show you guys my brushes and their uses. I don't know, maybe I'll do a video on that so you guys will actually see the brushes I use and how I use them. As far as I'm concerned, it's not what they say a brush is for. It's about how you use the brush rather than how the maker of the brush tells you to use them. You might find more uses for one brush than even the maker of the brush. Ding. Next, I'm now using the same brush to just pat and just blend Now I'm saying, like, you've got to blend that thing. Don't leave that line there. A lot of people leave the lines. It's not good. Then I'm using my beauty blender again to make the blend very seamless and very smooth. Next, we're going to set all this into the skin with the setting spray again. Okay, this is what really helps your makeup to look like skin at the end of the day. You have to soak all this you've done, press it into the skin, my sister. Look at how that skin work is looking. Jeez. Next, of course, I like to set my highlighted areas and of course the rest of the face before I even bake. So that's my Lady V Beauty Planet powder palette. I'm using this pointed brush from Noban Beauty, and I'm applying a shade that is about maybe 2 shades or 3 shades lighter than her skin tone. For the highlighted areas alone, I'm going to use this to set the highlighted areas. Maybe very soon, one of these days, I'll do a video also on the difference between setting and baking. A lot of people don't know there's a difference between setting and baking. People think it's the same, or people just, you know, use them, like, just say, oh, I'm setting, and when you're actually baking, or I'm baking and then you're actually setting. No, fam. So I'm setting the highlighted areas with that. Then I'm going in with a powder of her skin tone, Blot Beauty Cosmetics, guys. I'm mixing the 2 shades of powder, Chestnut and Cool Cone, to get her actual skin tone. And I'm using this is, what's this thing even called? Can't remember. I don't know, puff. People used to call this a puff in those days when we used to use this to apply powder. We didn't know about brushes then. Now wow. Anyways, I'm just using this to pat the powder on the skin rather than using a brush. You can always use a brush for this. I do whatever I feel like doing, guys. I don't really feel like I have one ultimate technique that I use all the time. Well, if I feel like doing this, I'm gonna do this. If I feel like using a brush, I'm gonna use a brush. Do you understand me now? So I'm patting the powder everywhere else except the highlighted areas. It has to match her neck. Do you get? The only places allowed to not match her neck are the highlighted areas. Next, that's my Sasha Buttercup setting powder, which I'm going to use to bake. I love this process. It makes my work look so sculpted and so beautiful. I actually enjoy doing this. So I'm setting this from the side of the nose, connecting it to the face. It gives the illusion that you have a smaller nose than you actually do. Do you get? So it gives the illusion that that side that you are setting, which is the side of the nose, is part of the face and not part of the nose. So people will now think that, oh, the nose is just that thing in the middle. Oh, you see that thing in the middle? Oh, that's all her nose. She has no other nose. What am I saying? Mado. Okay, so I'm making the line very precise so that we can, you know, snatch that nose, boo. Then for the Cupid's bow, same thing. I'm just applying this to all the highlighted areas. Then yes, I asked her to, you know, poof, you know, so we can take care of smile lines. I'm using the darker shade in my Lady V palette called Ebony with this brush from Noban Beauty, which is angled, to do her dry contouring. Then lastly, I am sealing up her contour with powder of her skin tone before we go into brows. Now I've done my brows. I'm sorry, I did off camera, don't be angry. I'm using House of Tara eyeshadow primer to prime her eyelids. Don't worry, I'll do a detailed video on brows for you guys. You guys will know how to slay your brows like no man's business. But for today, please, let's focus on the eyeshadow. The Lord will bless you. Now I'm going in with my Blossom USA palettes. Please take note of all these products I'm using. They are all drugstore. A lot of them are Nigerian brands. Go ahead and cop them if you know that you are an MUA on a budget. Now this is an easy smoky eye tutorial. I am going in straight with the black shade. No gel eyeliner first, just the black shade directly on top of the eye primer. And this palette, you can see, is relatively pigmented. In later videos, I will be using high-end products, so you'll be seeing stuff like Juvia's Place and all of that. But for now, I really want you guys to appreciate this Nigerian brand because, I mean, it's amazing. Next up is I'm going to use the red and the orange shade as my transition, using a fluffy brush from Glam Beauty Cosmetics to blend the top. Okay, this is how I easily apply my transition colors. You see how I raised her brows with my other hand? Yes, and I'm blending in circles with that fluffy brush, applying the red shade. Now I'm just going to be you guys can already see a hint of it, Abby? You can see a hint, right? You can see a hint of that red shade. Oh, okay. Now you can see the smoke is already diffusing. I'm just using this shade to sort of diffuse that black, you know, in a more subtle way. It was too harsh. Then of course I like to blend my eyeshadow shades to the front of the eyebrows, directly underneath the eyebrows, just blending it towards that area to give that dark effect which connects it to the nose contour. Then I'm still blending round in circles, Now I'm just smoking out that eyeshadow same way I did it at the top. I'm smoking it out in my under eye. I'm also using that red transition shade to blend it to make it look like what I have on the top. Next, I'm using her foundation to make a straight line at the end right there because there's an effect I'm looking for. So I'm just making a straight line. Use a very small quantity, by the way. You don't want it to be too crazy and then it'll be hard for you to blend out. Next up is my Nye Glitter Glue, which I'm using to create a dot underneath her eye in the middle area, which I'm going to place a stone on. This is a regular stone, guys, the ones they use for clothes. It's not a big deal. It's not, don't think it's one thing from heaven. A lot of people ask, teach us how to do this thing. I'm like, it's something you can just use your initiative to do, to work out. It's not a big deal. There's no particular makeup stone. Do you understand? It's very basic. So I did that in the middle. I want just 2 extra points. So I'm going to put the second dot, very tiny, because this Nye Glitter Glue, if it gets into her eye, she's in trouble today. So just a small dot, which I'm going to put the second stone on. Just watch me do that. Yep, the stone is on. You have to do this as meticulously as possible. Please don't be in a rush when you're doing this. Don't mess things up. Don't you don't wanna. So I'm going to put the last stone at the end. You see why I wanted that straight cut? Because of this effect. You see why? Did you see where I put the glitter glue? Yeah, so I'm going to put the stone on it right there, and it's gonna be pretty. Of course, I popped on her lashes from Wink Lashes in Omo. Yeah, I just applied blush and then next highlighter. The highlighter is from Elsa's Pro, by the way. It's a really nice one. So let's set everything into the skin. Whoop! See how the skin is looking now. For her lips, let's go into lips. This is the LA Girl Pro Concealer in I think the shade Cool Tan. This is Cool Tan, yeah. So I'm using that as the nude shade. Next up is to line the lip with that Zaron Cosmetics lipstick in 09 Night. I think that's the name. It's a brown lipstick. I'm using this very tiny detailed brush, lip brush from Noban Beauty, and you know, lining her lips with it. I'm going to teach you guys different ways to line lips. Just stay tuned. This channel is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm lining her lips the easy way. I actually call this the easy way, legit, because this is way easier for me than having to do a V, but this makes the lips, you know, fuller. Next up, I'm blending it. See how I'm blending it into that nude shade? Then I'm just going to take a little bit of it and line the lower lip. Next, I'm applying this pink lipstick from Blot Beauty Cosmetics in the middle of her lips. Now I'm going to gloss it up. I like glossy lips, so everyone who knows me knows I like glossy. It's from Zaron Cosmetics. Now I'm just making her tear duct area pop with this same highlighter that I used on her face, and that's the end, guys. Oh my gosh, just look at this. By the way, this weave is from La Chic Hair, and honestly it's glueless. I did not use any glue, no got to be, no nothing. I only just tried to lay down the front a little bit and tied it down so it will look as natural as possible. It's from La Chic Hair on Instagram, so go ahead and get it. I hope you guys love this look. I mean, I love it. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I beg you in the name of God. What other language can I speak? Mo fi Ọlọ́run bẹ̀. I take God beg you. Yes, I think that's so please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.